The way that we're going to kind of do the presentations is that we'll run through them and then we'll do a Q&A at the end, where if you put your hands up, if you'd like to ask a question and are brave enough or able to come on camera and talk to us or unmute yourselves, we'll do that. Or please do feel free to pop questions in the chat as well as we go along. So I think that's all the housekeeping from my side of things. So without further ado, I shall hand over to Stanley for our first presentation.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Stanley, and I'm the head of IT services. I'm joined today by two of my colleagues, Sunny Patel, who is the IT operations manager, and Jamal Mohammed is one of our IT officers. And I welcome you to Middlesex again. What we're going to be doing today is going through some of our IT services for students, as Kiara already mentioned. I will be sharing a PowerPoint presentation with you this morning. Just going to share my screen quickly. There we go. Give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen.
Good.
Fantastic. Good. So what are we doing today? Can I just ask quick one? I'm not sure if you're all on mute at the moment. I know there'll be questions wanting to be asked during the presentation. Can I ask you to leave all your questions to the end of the presentation? Another opportunity for you to ask questions is using the chat on the side. We have colleagues that will be able to answer most of the questions. Please do feel free. If you cannot wait till the end of the meeting, end of the session rather, I keep saying meeting, sorry about that. Please use the chat area and ask questions, and my colleagues will be able to answer those questions for you. So what we're doing today is we will give you insight to how you can best work effectively or study effectively, because the last thing you want to do is IT. That's not what you're at Middlesex to do. You're there to study. We will provide you with the tools required for you to study effectively, worry less about IT and focus more on your studies. So IT is just meant to enhance your study, to do things quicker and better, and facilitate you getting your, first class or your 2-1 degree. Without further ado, so what to expect from this session? I'm sure some of you will have heard the word Uni Hub and My Uni Hub. What Uni Hub basically is, it's a portal where all students go to see what's going on in the university. And then My Uni Hub, it's your area where you sign up to, and you have all your individual modules and your pages shown to you where you can do your own things. Please be mindful, My Uni Hub is individual. It's not the same for everyone. When you sign, your module will be different to your friend's module or the other person sitting next to you. So My Uni Hub is just for you. So my colleague Sonny will be taking you through that later on. We'll be talking about accessing the university's Wi-Fi and your personal devices. I'm not sure how many of you have been on campus already. So when you're on campus, please feel free to connect to the university's Wi-Fi on all your devices. You're allowed to use multiple devices. I'll go through that later on. And a very, very important thing you need to do at the university is set up your personal email, set up your email address on your personal device. Please, please, please make sure, I can't say it enough, communicate with the tutor, with the university using your Middlesex email address, not your personal one. Always try to communicate where possible with your email address. The university will only communicate with you using your email address from the university. If we cannot reach you, we'll try your personal email address. But preferably, please always use your university email address. We'll talk about printing on campus. Printing is free for all our students. But please do remember, it's only for academic purposes. And we'll also talk about loan laptops, how you can borrow laptops from the university, the laptop, and it's free as well. All freebies everywhere. We'll talk about downloading software on your personal devices. Some of you may have specialist software that you need to use. We'll talk about that as well. And then most important for you as well is using Microsoft Office 365, which is called Microsoft 365 now. They've taken out the Office. That is where you get your Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, and the rest of them. It is free for you. And then the last thing on the agenda today is how to keep safe online, making sure you don't divulge your personal details or your sign-in details to anyone, and how to know when someone is trying to get your details from you in a very malicious way. We'll have a bit of a video for you to look at. So I'm going to hand over to my colleague Sunny to talk you through Uni Hub and My Uni Hub. Sunny, over to you.
That's great. Thank you, Stanley. Good morning, everyone. Just like Stanley mentioned about Uni Hub and My Uni Hub, both being different in terms of Uni Hub being your engagement website, My Uni Hub being your personalized portal, tailored towards your studies. I'm going to give you an example so that we can do a little demo to see exactly what Uni Hub and My Uni Hub looks like. And I've got a live demo that I can show you. So just give me a moment if I can bring up my screen. Okay. Should work. Let me know if this is working. Just let me know if you if this is coming up in screen. Thumbs up, please, if you do see it. All good, perfect. So basically, this is what Uni Hub looks like. Majority of you would have been, this is the first place you would have visited. This is where all the information in regards to student engagements, services, as you can see, the top level, student life, campus, study, employment. There's a lot of information, but I would suggest that you get used to this, spend some time navigating around these areas. The first thing that you guys would do, obviously when you've been emailed, is the first thing you want to do always is you want to enroll. And you will enroll through logging in to My Uni Hub. So you would click on My Uni Hub. And this is the authentication page that you will be prompted to, the login box. As many of you, I'm sure, if you give me a thumbs up, if you've already done the enrollment, and just give me an indication that you've seen this page before. If you haven't, I'm sure you will be seeing this soon through the email that you'll receive with your user ID and password. As you can see, within this page, you have got the following options to, if you've forgotten your password, you can click on this link and it'll ask you some security questions to retrieve your password. But before you even do that, you need to register for 2FA and password reset. I'm going to take you through now to logging into My Uni Hub. This is a test live account, so it might be looking different to what you're used to looking at because you'll see a getting started page. Give me a moment. Now, for those that are new students, you'll be seeing a getting started page above this. That page will give you information regards to-do list, activities that you can participate in, and to-do list, you go through those list of actions that you need to complete in order for you to progress further. And within that same page, you'll see an enrollment page. So once you've completed your enrollment, these are the 4 pages extra that you'll inherit. So my Middlesex page, my study, my admin and finances, and the help page. So this is, I'm just going to take you through the quick kind of navigation in terms of what this page looks like. The first and utmost important is the COVID-19. You know, there's some great information in regards how you can study from home. More information about COVID-19 is all created for in regards to keeping you safe both from home and on campus. Then the second this is one thing that I like you guys to be aware of, both within My Uni Hub and outside of My Uni Hub. System status pages where we will push out information regarding system downtimes. Could be that you're accessing student records. You see one here. The system is going to be unavailable from the 17th to the 19th, meaning that any, like my admin and finances, any student record links that you click on you will not be able to access during this upgrade. But whilst this upgrade is occurring, you can do and access other areas of My Uni Hub, for example, emails, your My Learning environment. So please note of that, and do kind of pay attention to this page as well as the system status page on on Uni Hub. As you can see here, this is the system status page I was talking to you about. If you click, what happens is that when you click on this, I'll show you quickly as a matter of fact. So this is it. This basically provides you with information regards what system downtimes we have. What can you do if there's any current issues? This is where you can navigate to, and there's a lot more information regards the services that are on offer and any system downtimes and maintenance works. But please feel free to navigate around this. So if I go back now to, just give me a moment, if I can go, there you go. Again, we have an announcement portlet, which is tailored towards your program. You might see some announcements that is just for your program. Could be something or information regarding something happening on campus or on your program. They'll be posted here. And most importantly, for those, this is your My Learning area. This is what it should be looking like. And when you're accessing My Learning, you just click on your modules or, sorry, your program or study or modules, either of which will take you into My Learning. And also, university email you can access from within My Uni Hub. Once you've registered for 2FA, there's a link there that you can use to register. Also, you can click on university email. They'll give you access to logging into your emails once you've completed the 2FA. So this is what My Uni Hub looks like on the first page, as I mentioned. Moving on, you can also access your My Learning from My Study. So it's also, you'll see it's in My Middlesex page, and you can access it also from My Study page. There you go. Same information is available both on My Middlesex page and on My Study page. So these are the key areas that I would like you to get used to whilst, it takes time, but I think eventually you'll get there. Just please navigate around these pages and portlets. We call these portlets basically. Again, you'll see, look, My Library. There's so much information regards how you can access the library services, how you can get help. So these are all been tailored towards you and how you can get access and support. The student records links that I was talking to you about, this is what we call them. That these are the links that will not be available during that system downtime. So just please be aware that during that period, you will not be able to access these links. If there's any questions, please do ask. Jamal's there, Stanley's there, myself. I'll answer those questions for you. My timetable, we have a lot of questions regards those. So we've put a message in there. This is how you'll access your timetable. I know that you can access it through MDX app, but please be aware your timetable will take time. It could be up to a month or end of the month when it appears. If there's any issues, but you can contact Uni Help and they'll be more than willing to help you. But you can, this is an example that this is how your My Uni will be looking like after you've enrolled. And there's so much information, like I said, you need to navigate, and it's there for your purpose, in regards to you being able to access information more easily. Again, if you need to look at your personal record, make changes, phone numbers, for example, guys, that's very critical that you put the right UK number and contact details, like Stanley mentioned earlier. Your emergency contact, you can do so by clicking on any one of those links. And also, if you need to look at your finance, your payment, you can make a payment. Again, you can do that through My Uni Hub as well. If there's any charges or you need to look at your library account, we've got links that you can click on. They'll give you access to those areas. Letters and forms. If there's anything that you need to submit or need access to, then we've got those within the letters and forms areas as well. I think this is a quick kind of navigation around My Uni Hub and the important ones that I've been kind of talking to you about. And then most importantly, we've got the help area here. You'll get access to what the portal's about. It gives you, there's a guide, which we'll be updating shortly. If it'll give you it'll just take you through all the pages, explaining what they are, how you can access the information. Also, within Uni Help area, you can access your online queries. Anything that you submitted, you can access through this portal. You log in and you'll have access to your inquiry, and you can update and see updates from the teams. Once you've completed, you can sign out from My Uni Hub by clicking on sign out. And this, when you return to your application, will take you back to Uni Hub. If there's any questions, like I said, there's a lot of information that I've had to go through, but I've identified the key important ones. But please ask me in the chat, and I'm more than happy to answer those questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sunny. I hope that was useful to you all. Please feel free to ask questions like Sunny said. We will be moving on to our next slide. Sunny, can you stop sharing, please? Thank you.
It's dying, and it's not allowing me to do so, surprisingly. Okay, there you go.
Okay, I know I did speak about Wi-Fi earlier. So when you're on campus, you can log into the Middlesex University Wi-Fi using your phone, your iPad, and your tablet. There is no restriction to the number of devices you can connect on campus and around campus area, wherever you are. We have multiple buildings, and you can always pick up the MDX Uni Wi-Fi. So all you have to do as normal, same way when you go to Costa or McDonald's or wherever you are, you know, for public Wi-Fi at the airport, look for MDX Uni, enter your user ID and your password. Please remember your IT user ID is not your email address. It's not your email address. It's your, say for example, AB123, which has been sent to you. It's a combination of the first letter of your first name and the first letter of your last name together and some digits. So some will have 3 digits, some will have 4 digits. Please do keep that in mind. And then all you have to do is just click accept and continue. So you are connected. So it's free for all to use. Any questions, please do ask us in the chat area. So something I mentioned earlier, which is very, very critical about you speaking to us or contacting us, is setting up your email on your personal device. Preferably, you would like to download Outlook from, if you're using an iOS device, go to the store. If you're using an Android, go to the Play Store as well. Just type in Microsoft Outlook, download it, enter your Middlesex email address, and we'll do the rest for you. And I'm just going to go back to what my colleague said earlier, Sunny. He did show you where you can read your email address in My Uni Hub. Please make use of that as well. So we have multiple channels where you can read your email, as well as the MDX app. If you've not downloaded that, please do download it. So you have a lot of places you can actually connect to your email. And all you need to do is to sign in with your email address this time around, not your IT user ID, but your full email address, like AB123 @live. Please don't forget the live. We have students that forget to write the live, so live.mdx.ac.uk. So signing through your Uni Hub, My Uni Hub, signing through Outlook, or signing to your native app, which you already have inbuilt into your iOS iPhone device or your Android devices. And yeah, please do that. Any questions, please ask us in the chat area. Printing. Like I said earlier, printing is free for all to use, but please be mindful that it's only for academic use only. Please do not print flyers and the rest of it. It's only for your assignments and your presentations and the things you use at the university. Within reasonable limits. You may be contacted if we'll feel you're printing more than we expect you to print, and we'll ask you why you're printing so much during the last month or so. So that's if you're on campus and you need to print. I do know some students study better having a physical paper on their hands compared to reading online on your phone or your tablet. Do you have printers located everywhere on campus? If you visit the library, we have 21 printers dotted across the whole library on the 3rd floor, 2nd floor, and the 1st floor, on the ground floor. And please remember, you're not restricted. You can be sat on the 1st floor and decide to print on the 3rd floor, or even in the quad. So you don't have to pick up your print job at the nearest printer. You can pick it up on your way home at the nearest printer. So regardless of where you are, you can print. Even if you're on the bus, you can send the print job from your phone to the printer on campus for you to print. So go through the FAQ page that Sonny showed you earlier, or when you're on campus, there are a lot of materials there for you, and you can see how to print. And what's important, what you need to do is to pair your card with the printer. You can see on the picture, someone holding the ID card against the printer. You only have to do that once by entering your user ID and your password. You only have to do that once. Next time, you just have to tap it, just like an Oyster card. For those that that have Oyster card, you never have to do it again, just once. So once you tap it, it will show you your print job, and then you decide which of the jobs you want to have printed, or if you want to scan, or if you want to photocopy, whatever you want to do on the printer. So I did mention borrowing loan laptops. Typically, loan laptops are borrowed for 24 hours. So you pick it up on a Monday, you return it on a Tuesday. But we are aware that you have blended learning or hybrid learning at the moment, and you're not always on campus. Currently, all loan laptops are to be returned on the 20th of September. In the picture, you can see one of our students picking up a laptop using the laptop cabinets. Laptop cabinets are dotted everywhere around campus, in the library, in the Williams building, everywhere on campus. Currently, they're not in service because of COVID. Was there someone there? I can hear someone trying to ask a question, I think. Okay. Currently, they're not in service. We are currently carrying out health and safety process on them. We hope to have them on in service shortly, but they're not there right now. If you do need a laptop right now, please feel free to contact us via Uni Hub. We can courier one to you at home, or you can pick one up in the Shepherd Library. To do that, please contact my colleagues on the chat area. They'll send you a link where you can fill out a form and you pick up a laptop on campus. If you're not able to come on campus, we can courier one to you. But please remember, for now, return date is the 20th of September. And then that will be reviewed. And most likely, we'll open up the laptop cabinet so you can do a self-service yourself. You can come on campus, swipe your card, and pick up a loan laptop. We currently have 330 of them available. For now, I think we have a bit more that we can loan out. I do advise you to read the terms and condition. If there's any late return, you may be fined. Please keep that in mind. And it has to be returned in a good condition. Any damage whatsoever, you will have to pay for it. If you find the laptop damaged when you picked it, please do inform us immediately. So, Microsoft 365, this is where you download Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. Once you sign into your Uni Hub or My Uni Hub, you will see a link there that says download. My colleagues will put in the chat area a direct link for you to download Microsoft 365. Please remember, it is free for the period you're studying at Middlesex University. Once you graduate, you have 1 year grace period to use all these tools and access your email address, your email as well. Plus, please remember not to use your email address for things like Spotify or Netflix, because once you leave the university, once you graduated, a year after, your account will no longer be accessible. So you may have problems accessing Spotify or Netflix. Please try to use your university email address just for university purposes. Sunny, can you just share, or Jamal, the link to download in Microsoft 365? I know some of you may have bought it, that's fine. But for those that don't have Word, Excel, and PowerPoint and Publisher yet, please click on the link and download it. And like I said earlier, some of you will need access to likes of Vectorworks, CAD, and so many other specialist software. There's a link there. We call it download server. It's called the K-Box. That is where you download most of the specialist software. And then when you sign into any of our desktop or laptop, there's a page called apps anywhere, which you'll see on the once you log into the computer. You can download all the software you need as well. Some of you may have come in contact with LinkedIn. You may have pages already. Please feel free to go there and learn how to use some of our softwares. It's free as well for the period that you're studying. Just going to move. So I did mention that you'll be watching a video. This will talk you through about how to keep safe online. This is very, very important in terms of keeping your identity online for your personal use as well, because there are a lot of hackers out there that are trying to take your work from you, steal your money, and do all whatnot with your data. And I'm going to share this video quickly. Kiara, how are we doing in time?
Yeah, I think we can quickly do this video, and then if we could do some questions after that for 10 minutes, that'd be great.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Like to go fishing.
Stanley, sorry, that's a little bit quiet. Is it
Okay.
to turn the volume? Sorry.
Is it better now?
And wait for someone to bite. Then reel in their cash or their personal details for criminal purposes. The hook isn't an actual hook, of course. It's a fake email with a link or an attachment containing a virus or a program that takes over your device and steals your banking details or your entire picture library, or a phone call, or even a text. They'll do a good job of pretending to be from an organization you trust, like the government or the police. Good news, you're due a refund. Bad news, there's an urgent fine you need to pay. Don't believe it. Stay calm. Don't share your details. Check it out yourself. Never use the number you've been given in the text, email, or phone call. Go online and find the widely advertised one and call that instead. Be wary of emails or links that offer something that's too good to be true. Even when the offer uses your name or your email address or has personal details in it, hackers will have found them online or stolen data from somewhere else and emailed millions and millions of people, hoping just a few will be duped. If your bank emails you, don't click on the link. Go into your account through your normal online route. And if your bank calls you, call back on the number you always call. If anyone ever asks you for your full password or PIN number, never share them. Be skeptical. Be suspicious. Be aware. Passwords are always a problem. We know they should be complicated to stop the hackers, but then we can't remember them. So we go for easy ones, which hackers just love. We live in a world where passwords have multiplied like rabbits. Passwords, PIN numbers, usernames. No brain, however big, can cope with what seems like millions of them. Criminals know that many of us use passwords like, well, password or football or QWERTY, or even a relative's name. The fact of the matter is, if a word is in a dictionary, then the hackers can crack your password in seconds, which means they can get their hands on your cache, your personal data, even pictures of you and your family, your entire life. But a good password locks them out. So it's worth taking the time to invent one that it'd take too much effort for criminals to crack. And actually, it's quite easy. Here's how. Choose 3 random words that you can remember and a date that's easy to recall. Then put the words together. You put the 19 at the front, the 95 at the end, and capitalize a letter from each word, for instance, the last one. Then bung in a couple of special characters, like an exclamation mark or an @ symbol or anything. Memorable and nigh on uncrackable. So try something like this and make it work for you. Don't write it down. Keep it in mind. Use it. Not this password. Create your own.
So, over to you, Kira.
Thank you so much. That was great, really informative. And yes, these videos, they definitely made me think that I need to go and change all of my passwords as well now. It's a super learning curve there. So yeah, if you guys are all right, then we'll do some Q&A. Just what we'll do that for about 10 minutes until about 1:45. So we'll try and get through as many as possible in that 10 minutes. Then we'll take a short break before moving on to the second session on Word and PowerPoint. So if anybody's got any questions, if you want to raise your hand, I know lots of people have been utilizing the chat box and posting questions about passwords and timetables in there. And thank you, Jamal and Sunny, for getting back to everyone. But if anybody's got something they want to, okay, I can see Yasin. I'm going to unmute you, Yasin. Yeah. Oh, that's not you. I think.
Can you please repeat to me how you can download Microsoft 365?
Yeah, I'll share the link again. There's a link that I posted on the chat, and if you follow through that page, it'll tell you how to download it to your device.
All right, thank you.
Is that okay, Yasin?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to post it in there now.
Cool. Thank you very much. Okay, Khalid, you're up next. Hopefully. There we go. Khalid, you got a question? Oh, perhaps it was a mistake. No, okay. In that case, we will move on to Ikedici. You want to ask your question? You're
okay. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Hi.
Okay, I just finished configuring the multi-factor authentication on my email, but currently I can't access my email. It seems there is no license assigned to it yet.
Hi. So have you registered? So basically, one thing you want to just make sure that you've been able to log into My Uni Hub and enroll. Yes. You've completed your enrollment.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I think you've gone off mute again.
Okay, yeah, I've finished my enrollment.
Okay, so if you finished your enrollment, then that will then give you access to your email. And then when you clicked on 2FA, it would have asked you to register 2 methods. And is that where you've had issues?
Okay, I'll check.
That's what you need to do. So first thing, for new students, all of you, you need to complete your enrollment. Thereafter, your email's activated and created. Then you'll have inherited the pages that I showed you earlier. But prior to that, you'll see the registration for 2FA. You need to click on that link and then follow the instructions.
I actually did the 2FA registration before my enrollment.
It wouldn't work because okay, so now if you're trying to access your email, it will ask you to, it'll prompt you to a message to approve, to say, right, you're the user.
Okay.
So if you still need help, just give us your M number, so your student number, and we can look you up on our systems to see if you're registered for two methods.
Okay, M00.
If you can just post it on the chat, that'd be great.
Okay,
Then
all
yeah,
right, on
that'd
the
be great.
chat.
And
All right.
yeah, that'd be great.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Great, thank you. And then I can see Tatiana had her hand up in the chat, so I'm going to go to you next. Hi.
Just a quick question. When should I get my ID card?
Your ID card, you would have once you've submitted it, they would have sent you an email to come and collect it from campus.
Okay.
Yeah. So have you because you do it online, so you would have posted your picture and so forth, and then they will give you a date to come and pick it up from campus, which is
so I should start. I should send the picture first.
You need to complete that. Yes, it's all done online. Once you've completed it, and they will then send you an email to come to campus to pick it up or collect it.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, getting through them quickly this morning. So Meluda, how can we help?
Yes, hi. I hope everyone's well. My question is, when I went to my Uni Hub just now, and I went to student timetable by day and time, and it's showing me some slots online, everything online. Is that my actual timetable?
Your timetable, I think, upon after it's done through your program. So I think it should be it should be available by say end of the month. There is a message. I'm not sure if you see it. Do you see the pages that I showed you earlier in the demo that I did? Do you see that bit? So you basically after you've completed your enrollment, you'll see my Middlesex, my study, and my admin and finances. Do you see those pages?
Yes, I've done all the enrollment, the financials, everything has been accepted. I done my for my students card, which had been confirmed and is gone through. But when you went to my Uni Hub earlier, when you come out, I still kept navigating, and I went to a page where it's showing my teaching
Timetable.
Timetable, and it's showing me a timetable for every week. But I'm just because I want to because I'm on full-time work, and I want to also work with my work ahead with my schedule, not last minute tell them I can't do this day. And I'm just wondering whether those slots they show, for example, on Monday it says HRM lecture 11 to 12, and then Tuesday there is different times and lectures.
Yeah, I mean, just because I'm just conscious of time. But in regards to your timetable, obviously it comes from the timetabling team. Regards from your program. So if there's anything that, I mean, obviously it'll go through your program leader, because you'd have to inform them. Because timetable, if you're seeing it now, it's coming through the timetabling team, and the program leader would be aware of that. Does that answer it? So basically what you can do also is that you'd have to go through Uni Help online as well. You can submit a query. And if you're on campus, then you can visit the service in the Shepherd Library. Is that okay?
I think you're
Yes.
I think so. I think the mic's really quiet.
Yeah, I can't hear anything at the moment. Sorry, Kira, I had a couple of questions coming in regards to those that are trying to access My Uni Hub.
Yeah.
Just to everyone, just for your in regards to My Uni Hub, how you access, it's your IT user ID, 2 initials, example JK123. Do not use your email, for example, at live.mdx.ac.uk to log into My Uni Hub. It will give you an authentication error. Please use your IT user ID and password.
Great.
Thanks.
Thanks, Sunny. Okay, so I did say that we would have a quick break from 11:45 until 10 to 12 UK time. So just for 5 minutes. So if anybody who would like to run and grab a drink or stretch their legs, please feel free to do so. Sunny, are you all right to keep taking questions in the 5
Yes, please go ahead. Yeah. Let's do it.
But yes, for
That's fine.
anybody who's had all their questions answered, or you just want to have a bit of a leg stretch, go for it. But we'll start the next presentation in 5 minutes. So Abby, up next.
Hi there.
Hello.
Hi. It says that I need to bring in my ID documents and some other things, and I'm wondering, when do I do that? Because obviously I need to go and pick up my student ID, but when do I actually prove all of that?
They would have told you when you have to come in. Is it an email that you just recently received? It's the first one?
It's just when I'm on My Uni Hub,
Yeah.
one of the things that says that you need to do, you know, that kind of list of things that
Correct, yes.
do. It's just on there. I know I'm supposed to be in uni not next week, but the week after. So would it be then when I go and pick up my ID that I'd bring in documents?
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to bring it then when you're coming in. And also you can walk through the Shepherd Library at Uni Help and you can ask them there at that point. But before then, if it's your ID card, remember there's certain things that they'll ask you to upload online. So it'll take you to. Oh, you've done that. Okay,
yeah,
perfect.
Yeah, I've done the ID checks.
Sure. Okay. So yeah, and then so if you're coming on campus and say something you've not received, then you can walk through to the Shepherd Library, and Uni Help services are based there, and they should be able to look up your details as well, and then let you know.
Okay, that's great. So generally speaking, if you have any queries while you're on campus, the Shepherd Library, Uni
Help, yeah. So that is your main point of contact regards anything that you want, kind of, you've got something that you want an answer to, you can go there, visit them, or you can do it through online. They're available. I showed earlier that you can submit a query through Uni Help as well.
That's great.
So they have options, yes, guys. So please don't think that you need to be on campus. There's chat with us service, and you can submit a query, and you can keep track of your inquiry as well. And there's a phone service, so please make use of that as well.
That's great. Thank you very much.
No worries, Abby.
Thanks, Abby. Okie doke. Abby?
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hi. So I have not received my CAS letter yet, and I've been waiting for approximately 2 weeks now. I applied it on 27th of August, and I tried to enroll myself on My Uni Hub. So I faced a difficulty there while it landed to a financial information page. The payments that we have made, they were not updated correctly. So is it because I have not received my CAS letter? And shall I wait for it and then enroll myself, or I'm not sure what to do.
I mean, again, this is a query that needs to go through the international team. Basically, if you've received your enrollment details, then it should give you access to logging into My Uni Hub and completing your enrollment.
Okay, so yeah.
But in regards to CAS, I mean, you need to go to the support team. I'm sure they've given you contact details whereby you can contact them to find out what your status is.
Yeah, I've tried to get in touch with them, but I was not able to do so. So I thought maybe I can ask.
Yeah, sorry. So that's a team that will be able to answer your question. If it's through Uni Help you went, then you can still go through them, and then they'll pass on your inquiry to that team as well. They can do it through there as well.
Okay, thank you so much.
No worries.
Thanks, Abby. Okay, let's Krisha. I can see you're next.
Hi there. I wanted to ask a question. My course is starting on the 27th September, but how many weeks before do you get your timetable? Like, that's all, because I can't access, like, I've got an overview timetable, but I haven't got like a precise one for like each week yet. So when would I receive it?
Okay, this is from my understanding that it would be there by the end of the month. As you know, the teaching starts and commences in 20th onwards. So it would be next couple of weeks time that you should be able to see either from your application MDX app or through My Uni Hub. If you had seen that earlier, that you can access it 2 ways. And obviously there are still concerns that, if something's not accurate or correct, then again, like I said, there is Uni Help service that are kind of, they'll help you, they'll look up your details, and, if there's an issue, then they'll pass it on to the My Timetable team.
Perfect. Thank you.
No worries.
Right, thank you. Okay, Ayanella.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
My question is in regards to timetable as well. So you said it will be available by the end of this month, but as far as I know, you have the first 2 weeks to change it or modify it. So
Yes, that's correct. That service opens up, so I can give you, it's next week. So from the 13th, so you should have a module registration. So, you know, when you go into My Uni Hub and I think it's My Study or My Admin and Finances letters and forms, there'll be a module registration link above. It's not open at the moment. It's being work in progress. So you can make changes there. And obviously, if and there is a contact there as well. So if there's something that you find that's not working, then there's two things. Either you come to Uni Help or you can do it through online as well and submit a query. But that's that's going to be available next week, by the way.
Right. Okay. And regarding the Middlesex email address, I finalized my enrollment, but I'm not really sure where and how should I log in into my Middlesex account.
Okay. So after you've completed your enrollment, you would have seen when you log into My Uni Hub, you know, I showed you earlier that you'll inherit some other pages on your left-hand side.
Yes.
You'll see My Study, My Admin and Finances, so forth. So from My Middlesex page, you'll see university email. Yeah. But what that means is that you need to first, before you even access your emails, you need to complete 2FA. So you need to, and you did, you've completed it?
Yeah.
You've registered for 2 methods?
Yes.
Perfect. So now if you click on that link, whatever method that you've selected, it'll ask you to approve and confirm before accessing your emails. That includes Office 365 as well.
And can I access it from my phone?
You can. There is, if I can actually, I'll post a guide in a bit. There is some guides. So if you're an Android user or an Apple user, then there's a guide in how you can access emails from your phone.
Okay.
Yeah.
And last question, sorry.
Sure.
When is the deadline to submit the photo for the ID, for the student ID?
Okay, I can't answer that one. Sorry, because I am IT. If you go onto the website, it will tell you when the deadline is. But I mean, if you've been sent something, then you need to submit as soon as possible, I would say. Yeah, because you must do that. That is a must, because if you're coming on campus, you will need your ID card.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Cool. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, Stanley, are you back? Yeah. Okie doke. Okay. Oh, you're on. Great. Okay, so I know a few of you still have got your hands up, but we do have to move on to the next part of the presentation. We are going to have a short Q&A at the end of that one. But I would suggest if you are able to pop your question in the chat, Sunny and Jamal will try and get back to you and resolve your queries for you in that as well. But I'll hand back over to Stanley now for the next part of this session.
Good. Thanks a lot, Kira. What we'll be doing now is going through some skills that you require to be able to complete your studies at Middlesex University. I'm just going to share my screen quickly with you. Can you see my screen? Yeah, fantastic. So these are the 2 skills predominantly you will need when doing your assignments at Middlesex University. You will need to understand how to use Word and PowerPoint. We will not be doing a very detailed training session today. It's just for you to understand some few tips and tricks and what to expect when you're working, when you're trying to complete your assignment at Middlesex University. Okay, and I'm sure some of you have come across, well, most of you will have come across Word and PowerPoint through work or through studying in college and so on. So what do you expect from this session? What is PowerPoint and what is Microsoft Word? We'll go through what this session looks like. We'll talk about how to create a new document, a new PowerPoint presentation, how best to format it, how to work with styles to make your life easier when doing your assignments, and how to add images, tables, charts, and different objects. And for Microsoft PowerPoint, we'll look at animations as well, and we'll also talk about headers and footers. By no means is this a detailed session. Please just bear in mind, this is just a quick overview of what will make your life easier when doing your assignment. I just want to stress again that Microsoft 365 is free. So you can download, I believe Sonia has pasted the link there and Jamala as well. So click on the link, go ahead and download Office. So you have Office, you have Word, Excel, Publisher, PowerPoint, I think OneNote and the rest of them. Okay, so you don't have to pay for it. So what is PowerPoint? PowerPoint is what I'm currently using to present. So you just use PowerPoint to develop presentation, and it's used for presenting. That's all it is. And that's what I'm currently using. What is Microsoft Word? You use Microsoft Word to write documents. Simple as ABC. That's all you need to know about the two. So I'm just going to go through how to create a new presentation and how to open one and how to work with templates. So I'm just going to switch my screen quickly. So when you click on PowerPoint presentation, when you go through your start menu on your computer, I know there may be some Mac users as well here. If you just click on your dock, PowerPoint will open up, and then you have the possibility of going through a new presentation, a blank presentation, or you have some templates there already. So Microsoft have provided you with some templates you can actually use depending on the theme, depending on the topic you want to talk about. So we will be going for blank presentation right now. So we're starting from the beginning. So this is what it looks like. Sometimes you may have been sent some PowerPoint as well. So the best way to go about it is when you go into to open it, you go into File, if I can find it, File, and then Open, and then you can navigate to where you've stored or where you've saved the PowerPoint presentation. I'm just going to go back. Okay. So this is a blank PowerPoint. This page is called a slide. So you can have several slides by adding more slides to it, which I'll touch on later on. So you might start by adding your title here and a subtitle. So in this case, for example, Middlesex presentation. That's what we call our slide for today. And then you can add a subtitle as well, whatever you like to add. So that's just a slide. Like I said earlier, you can add more slides to it. At this junction, can I just show you this top bit? I keep losing my mouse. This top bit here is called the ribbon. And some of you may have noticed that mine is black because I've chosen a dark theme. So when you install PowerPoint presentation, I think it comes in white or gray or blue and white. So don't be perturbed or worried that yours looks a bit different. It's just the way I've set up mine. Mine is dark theme. It's just, I like the contrast. That's all it is. So over here at the top, it's called the ribbons. That's where you have all your tools that you can use to make a beautiful PowerPoint. So you add your title, your subtitles, and then you can insert a new slide. I'm just going to show you how to insert a new slide quickly. If you go to the insert button, and then you have the new slide there. Just by clicking on it, we'll add slide number 2. That's what I've just done. There's another trick that you can use. Instead of going that way, you can just copy the first one. Like you know, the shortcut Control-C and then Control-V. Just adds a PowerPoint. Pardon, I think that was the wrong thing I did because I lost my mouse. So you highlight the first one, you can copy, and then you can paste. So you can do that multiple times. Just keep adding, depending on the number of slides you want. The next thing I would like to talk about is adding pictures, adding stock images, tables, and objects. So it's just the same way as well. You go into Insert menu. You can add a picture, stock image. So if you're looking for something, for a picture you haven't got in your computer, Microsoft will search the internet for you. I'm just going to search for dog. There we go. So we've got loads of them here. So I'm just going to add one. And then insert. So Microsoft will download it for you, and then you can add it as a picture. For some reason, I'm using my mouse. And 1 second. I do apologize. I'm just losing my cursor here for some reason. If I can just close this and I'll open it again. It's jumping up and down. That is computers for you. Okay, I have it back now. So I'm just going to adjust the size of the picture. Like I said, you can add multiple pictures. You can add tables as well. So if I go back to the insert menu, add tables. So you can add 2 rows, 2 columns, 3 columns. And then you can start typing in them. Okay, can you all still see my screen? So we can call this here, depending on what you're trying to tell your audience. I've lost my mouse again. What's going on here? And now type in sector, expenditure, so 2020, education, expenditure, so we can just go like 3 billion. Completed. Yes. So this is just an example for you to let you see what you can do with Microsoft PowerPoint. So you can add tables and you can add objects. I'm just going to try to add an object as well. Just bear me 1 second. So you go back to the insert menu and then you go into objects. I've lost my mouse again. Okay. I'm going to skip the object. You can add shapes, 3D arts. So if we go for shapes now, I can see shapes. So you've got different shapes here you can add to your PowerPoint presentations. Just going to adjust this, just make it smaller. The next thing I'd like to talk about is adding animations to our presentation. So I'm going to share with you one that I've already done. So to add an animation to your PowerPoint presentation, I'm sure most of you have seen a PowerPoint presentation where you see the object appear, the picture bouncy. What I'd like to advise you is try to make sure that your presentation does not distract your audience. So keep it simple, not a lot of distracting animation. So if I show you one that I've already prepared, okay. So that is an animation. Now I'm going to show you how to do that. So that's also an animation. That's an animation as well. And to do all these things, I'm just going to show that to you quickly. So the best way to do is you go into your insert, into your animations menu, and then you highlight. It's important. You need to highlight what you want to animate, whichever object it is. So you highlight it and then choose the style you want to do. So you can, let's say this one, the dog. So we can say float in. It will show you how it's doing that. You can choose the split. It shows you that way. Let's take this for example. That's a bounce. So again, try to keep it simple, consistent, and just go for 1 or 2 animation styles. Otherwise, you will distract your audience. Okay. So we'll now move into Word. I'm just going to open a Word document now. It's just the same way as you've done with PowerPoint. You have the blank presentation and you have templates as well. I will share with you my screen. So this is what, when you open up Word, this is what it looks like. That's a blank presentation. And then you could just start typing immediately. From here on, you can then start formatting whatever you want to do. And if you've got a Word document already, you can go into File and then Open. Wherever you have it saved, you navigate there and you open up the document. So the first thing I would like to talk about again, at the top here is called the ribbon. That is where you have all your tools, and then you can start formatting. Microsoft Word has done it very easy for us that once we highlight any sentence, you have a sub ribbon menu, which you can use to format your document rather than go to the top. So you can make it bold. You can change the size, for example, of the word of the sentence, or you can change the font type. You can do all these things over there. Okay. The next thing I'd like to touch on is using styles to make your work easier. Please bear in mind that most of the things you do in Microsoft Word, if you do it at the beginning, you'll have the results at the end. So you've seen a lot of documents that says table of contents. When you start writing assignments, you will have to do table of contents because you want your tutor to already see from the beginning what you have to present in your documents. So they can actually just go to the pages. You show them which pages are relevant to them. You show them where you have the your key points that you want to highlight. So to do that, you need to let Microsoft Word know immediately that this is a header. So by doing that, you go to the styles menu on the ribbon. So you click this as header 1. You can see it's changed that already for you. And then once you type everything beneath Middlesex Word Session, the next header, you can call it Word Training. This is just an example. And then you can highlight that as well and call it header. So the benefit of this is when you're done with your work and you need to create a table of content, Microsoft Word remembers all this and then adds it immediately for you as a table of content. Let's create one as well, another one. Let's call it finance. Add another header. So when you're done with your document, all you need to do is go to the insert column, to the reference column, and then go on table of contents, and Microsoft Word will do all the work for you. So you just have to choose the style you want. Can you all see that? It's taking all the things I've done at the top, rather than you hitting the full stop button. It creates everything for you because you've told it that these 3 things here, they're all headers. So it integrates that into a document. Let's do it actually. Just going to create move on to the next page so you can see it better. That's a bit confusing. So you can see it more clearly now. So it takes everything forward, adds it to a new page for you. So always remember, when you have headers, format them as headers. Don't forget, sometimes you'll have to do sub-headers as well. Don't forget that. So just like we've done in PowerPoint, we can add tables, pictures, and whatever you choose to do. So this is tables. You can add it there as well. Okay, you can add a picture. You can add a cover page. You can add shapes as well. So everything you have on the ribbons there. So the other thing I would like to talk about is headers and footers. You know, sometimes when you read a document, you have the same sentence at the beginning, at the top of every document, or at the bottom. It's quite easy to do that. Still on the insert page, you can go to the header and add one there. So study will be added to every page you turn to. So you can see it's added here. If you create a third page, it will always be there. The same applies to a footer as well. So if I can just show you a footer. So let's just go for one here. You will always have that there at the bottom of every page. So you don't need to type that every time you create a new page. It's always there for you. Okay. And the last thing I would like to show you in terms of a document is adding a page number. So while still in the insert menu, you can see there's a page number there. So then you choose where you want to add your page number. Typically, most people will have it at the bottom of the page. So you just choose your style. Oh, did I choose the top? I must have chosen the top. Let's go back. Let's go to the insert. Page number, bottom of the page. I keep losing my mouse for some reason. So there you go. So you have your page number there. So you don't need to do that yourself. Microsoft Word will do that. So in essence, you can see IT can make your work easier for you. You don't need to do anything manually. It will automatically do a lot of things for you. So what I'll suggest is you try to play around and see what each and every menu does in the ribbon. Okay. So I'm just going to switch my screen again so you can ask questions. So I'm just going to stop sharing screen.
Great, thank you so much. Fab. And I just wanted to say, I think a few people were asking in the chat about the recording of the session so that they can rewatch it back. So we will be sending that by email. Keep an eye on your inbox. It's going out later this afternoon and it will be part of your Ready for Anything email roundup. So yeah, we've got about 10 minutes now for questions. So I'll start off with the hands that we had up from before. So Josephine.
Hello.
Hi, Josephine.
Hello. Yeah, I was asking about the password, but finally now I've got it. So
yeah, fab. Thank you. I can see Jamal's in the chat there. Brilliant. Thank you so much.
Finally got it.
Fab. Is that everything resolved then?
Yeah, everything is resolved. So now I'm going to be able to sign in and then continue with the 2FAs and everything.
Great. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much.
Josephine. Bye. Okay, Abdul.
Yes.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
How can we help? Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, great. My challenge was also with the password. I got an earlier email with the login. That's the at live.mdx.uk. But then I didn't get the password. I don't know if I can get the password again, so that I'll go ahead with my.
Abdul, what you can do, if you can just give your details, just your M00 number and your user ID. It's the, that you just mentioned, it's at live.mdex.ac.uk, and we'll get Jamal to send you an email with the confirming your password.
I shall indicate it in the chat.
Yeah, just your M number, yeah? Your student number.
Okay, I just did.
Great. Thank you so much, Abdul. Okie doke. Katerina.
Yes, please. I had the same issue because I've tried so many things, and to be honest, I'm very, very confused now. I've done quite a lot of things. I haven't received this separate email with a password either. So shall I put my student ID number there? But also, I was wondering whether it's possible for me to come to uni and for somebody to help me to make sure that everything is done proper, because it's like, as you know, I've been in uni and also on the online chats, pretty much all of them.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I'm still not clear about what's what and what needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine, Katerina. When are you next into the uni?
I can come in even today because
that's perfect.
I do want things to be, you know, sorted. And other thing is, I think I'm autistic, but I had an assessment, and so some things is like literally I just don't get them, and that's how I feel at the moment.
No, that's fine. Don't worry about it. So if you're coming onto campus, you visited the Shepherd Library before? You know about it?
Yes.
Or okay, perfect.
Yeah.
They're open from 9 to 5. They're Uni Hub services, right? So if you're after this session, you know, like I said, they're open till 5, but make your way before 5, I would say. Say
Okay.
earlier the better. They're
Okay.
there. They'll support you with what they can, and anything else
okay.
they'll revert back to the IT team. We're on campus as well, so they will ask a colleague of mine who'll come and visit you. And Jamal's there at the moment, so it's either him or somebody
Okay.
else that will come and help you.
Well, to be honest, if that's the case, if I can just pop in and just make sure. I've done a lot of things anyway. I've done the registration,
Sure.
which it took me a while to figure out where to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I've also done that. What was that? Like the two-step authentication. I had somebody from IT on the phone, but I'm still not able to log into to my email. I haven't received like a password.
Password, I think, is like I said, it's similar to what you've. It's what you use to log into My Uni Hub. That's your password to email. It's the same password. So
when I try, because I've saved it on my phone, when I try, it's telling me it's wrong, and it's telling me we need more information. And then when I click more, it's just nothing.
Right, no worries. In that case, yeah, it would be better that if you're on campus in the Shepherd Library, then maybe somebody can look at what you're doing, and we can get it sorted there.
Okay, all right,
no
perfect.
Worries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sunny, Katerina.
Yeah.
Just a quick one. I will be contacting you shortly to have a conversation with you quickly regarding something you talked about earlier. So I'll contact you later. Okay.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
Thanks, Stanley.
Sorry, what's your name? I'm a bit bad with names as well.
That's all right. My name is Stanley. I will contact you.
Stanley. Okay.
Stanley.
All right. Thank you. Thanks.
You're welcome. Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. Fab. So we've just got a few more minutes. I'm going to try and get through as quick as I can. If you try and get through all your questions. If you can post it in the chat, please do. And what Sunny or Stanley or Jamal will try and get back to you. But Charity? Hello?
Yeah, good morning. Please, I can't view my timetable. Don't know what's going
on. Okay, when you say you can't view it, are you clicking on a link somewhere?
I clicked on the link that my timetable, they say I should go on to. I went on to there's nothing showing there.
If it's not showing, obviously, inside My Uni Hub, yeah?
Yeah.
And when you go to my teaching timetable, when you click on it, is that what you mean? That it's not just when you click on the link, nothing happens.
No.
Right. In that case, this is another query that you'd have to go through and log through Uni Help.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you're on campus, then great, we can do it through there. But I mean, because it's a team that there's another team that supports timetable. They'll have to look into that. Or alternatively, you can kind of log a call with Uni Help.
Okay. Because now I'm at work now, but I don't know if it's open tomorrow.
Sorry?
Can I
You're at
come?
work. Oh,
tomorrow?
sorry. Yes, today they're open. Saturday, Sundays, no, but the online service is open, so you can access through online, and they'll pass the ticket on to the relevant team.
Okay, all right then. Thank you.
No worries.
Thank you so much. Khalid?
Hello.
Hi.
Yes, I have a question regarding the university email. The problem is I cannot log in to my email because I didn't receive my password for that. I can't do the two-factor authentication also.
Okay. Let's take a step back, Khalid, because have you been able to enroll? That's the first question.
Yeah, I have.
All right. So if you've completed your enrollment, that means you have access to other systems, and that thereafter you'll have access to emails. Before you get to that path, you need to have gone into 2FA. It would have been on your getting started page. You click on that link and it'll ask you to register for 2FA. You need to complete that prior to making your next step, which is accessing your emails.
Exactly, I did that, but it takes me like when I put the email there, it asks me for the password, and I tried to use the password for my Uni Hub password. I tried to use that one, but it's not working there.
It's not working there. Okay. In that case, what we'll do then, if you can just put your details, which is a M00 number. Maybe did you try it a couple of times? Have you tried it many times?
Yeah,
actually?
I tried a couple. Even I did it now. But
okay, so if you tried it many times, obviously we'd have to reset it for you. So if you can, Khalid, just put your details down, and then Jamal will take your student number, and we'll have to look you up on our systems. And what he may do is reset it, and it'll enable you to then carry out your 2FA.
No problem. I'll put my student number there in the chat.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Iman, we'll take your question now. I'm afraid this will have to be the last one before we move on to our presentation. But if there are any other questions, please do use the chat functionality. I think Stanley, Sunny and Jamal will stay around for a little bit longer on the call. So do that. But Iman?
Yeah, hello there. I still have some trouble with ID check. So my program is a distance one, so I haven't applied for a visa. So my question, which type of ID check should I use? I am an international student, so I'm not a UK student. I have tried to put my question on the Uni Hub on the Facebook group. I have tried to write emails, but I haven't got any reply.
Right.
Oh, sorry, go on.
Are you okay with Kara to answer that?
I was going to say, I'm not quite sure. I was going to try and have a look online. Do you know?
There is. You know, I'm not sure if everyone's aware, but there is a welcome. Do you know the welcome bit on? So basically, when you go to Student Life on Uni Hub, and there's a tile called Welcome under there.
Yeah.
And in there, there's international orientation and a welcome. So that's where all of some of the questions are coming through. All of the information is there. I'm going to push this. Let me just see if I can post that.
I've just posted the Uni Hub link there.
Yeah. So that's where the information for international students is in regards to documentations and.
So it's always describing the case when someone is attending a program on the campus, but not a distance one. I haven't found any information about a distance program.
So again, I do apologize, but I mean it's a query that would have to go through the international team in regards to your distance learning. But I think it's equal. If you're a distance learner, then you should get kind of an email or confirmation. So you're not coming onto campus. I realize that. I'm trying to look for you right now to make it easier for you. But I would say that you'd have to contact again. It's something that you'd have to you'd have to contact the UHO Uni Help Online team.
Okay.
And I do apologize as well that you're having trouble getting hold of them. I know that they are really, really busy at the moment. So I know that they're dealing with quite a few queries. So apologies that you're struggling to get anything back at the moment. It's just maybe taking them a little longer than usual. Okie doke. Okay, thank you so much to Stanley and Sunny for your presentations, and for Jamal as well. Thank you so much for answering all the queries coming through in the chat. If you guys are happy to just stick around and keep an eye on the chat just in case there's any last questions, that would be absolutely amazing. But otherwise, thank you so much. I definitely found all of it very useful and helpful. I'm sure the students did as well. We will move on to the last session this morning, or this afternoon now, in fact. Gabriel, are you around? So Gabriel is one of our wonderful student ambassadors, and he's going to talk to you now about how you can create a nice working environment and desk setup for studying at home to be as productive as possible. So I shall hand over.
Yes, thank you. Hi, everyone. Well, as you now know, my name is Gabriel. I've been studying at Middlesex for the past 4 years now. So I did a BA in business management and marketing, and then that was face-to-face. So that was before COVID. And then when COVID hit, I started in September last year a master's in digital marketing. So any questions that you have about the uni, feel free to ask. I think I know quite a bit about the student experience, so I'll be more than happy to answer any queries that you may have. Today we're going to talk a bit about working from home or studying from home as well. Both are applicable, as we know that it might be the case to some of you. So my experience at Middlesex, at first, it was 100% face-to-face. I had maybe 1-2 lectures online, but that was very, very rare. But then after, my master's was done 100% online. So I had to adapt a few things in my routine, in my life, in my work environment to just make sure I would be on top of everything that I needed to do. So what I want to share with you today are a few tips and some steps that you can take to make sure that you have a nice work environment and a place where you can actually progress in your studies, a place where you feel comfortable studying and just making sure that you have everything done, your deadlines, your exams, and where you can actually prepare for your course, throughout your course, and so on. Even if you're not studying 100% online, this can also be helpful. So I hope you enjoyed the presentation. I'm going to share my screen with you now. Just bear with me for a moment. Can you all see my screen? Yes, brilliant. Okay, so what we'll cover today, we'll start with some introductions. I'll cover some of you guys will cover some of the challenges and the opportunities of working from home, because I know that you probably know what those are. So we'll have an overview about working from home, time management, which includes the routine, workspace and organization, creating connections when you're working or studying from home, and also looking after your well-being. And at the end, we'll have some time dedicated for questions. So if you have any questions, of course, you can pop them in the chat, but I think we'll leave them to the end just so it's easier to manage all that. So let me start by asking you to very quickly introduce yourself on the chat. Tell us your name, the course that you're doing, and what do you think that are the biggest fears that you have right now about studying or working from home? Do you see anything that can be positive, anything that can be negative? And the question is, how do you overcome those aspects that you think that could be negative? Or how do you take advantage of the ones that are actually positive? So if you could just very quickly on the chat, tell us, I would love to hear from you. I'll give it 1 minute. We have one student saying psychology. I am sensing that, are you from Brazil? Tatiane, are you from Brazil? Because so am I. That would be so cool. Yes, okay. See, that's so rare. Oh my God, that's so cool. Brilliant. Oi, tudo bem? Cool. We have someone Nirali, you're doing digital marketing, so that's my course. Oh my God. Okay, that's brilliant. So it's going to be easy for you. If you ever have to study or work from home, it wouldn't be an issue. Sarah, digital marketing as well, film, mental health. Okay, yes. We'll be setting foundation art design. So that's Krisha. Okay. Yeah, but I want to hear from you. a bit more. What do you think are the positives and negatives of working from home? Do you have any fears? Do you think that maybe there's something that's actually going to help you succeed? Anything else? Time management. Yeah, that can actually be a challenge and a strength if you're very good at it. I think, well, because I was able to actually organize my time, I ended up having extra time to dedicate to my assessment. So that actually led me to getting, I think, better grades than I would have if I was doing face-to-face learning. Cool. So, okay, we have another one. Hard time listening or paying attention during online learning. Yeah, that can be a challenge. We'll talk a bit about that because especially if you're getting distracted, that's not good. But there are ways to overcome it, so don't worry. Cool. So one of the things that I go by is work smarter, not harder, which is not to say that you cannot or should not work hard. I am not telling you guys that you shouldn't work hard on your assessments, that you shouldn't work hard when you're preparing for an exam. But the point really here is that if you manage to organize your life and organize your time, it's going to be much easier for you to do things effectively, which may lead you to not needing to dedicate as much time as you would to an assessment, for example. So if you're well organized, that means you might get a better grade. It might mean that you finish the assignment earlier and you will not be so stressed. So that's just one of the examples. Okay, and how do you do that? This is my personal perspective. Some things that work for me might not work for you, but this is just my personal tip. The way I see it is organization is key, because when you're organized to maintaining a routine and preparing for your day, you actually know what your day is going to look like, and you know when you're going to have free time, and it gets much easier. Things flow easily. So I want to ask you again, just very quickly, are there any ways that you think that you can get organized before starting your day? Do you have any rituals to get organized? Do you do anything the day before? Krisha is saying to-do lists. Yeah, 100%. I love to-do lists. I know that sounds very, very boring, but this is a really effective way of getting organized. And I don't actually do them on the day in the morning. I do them the night before. Because if I go to bed and I'm still thinking about the things that I have to write down the next morning, I'll probably forget about at least one of them, and I won't be able to relax by the time I go to bed. So I just try and make sure that I do that before actually going to bed, because it's much easier. Proper breakfast using a daily planner, daily goals. Yeah, guys, that's it. So you know actually what helps you get there effectively. So brilliant. I'm going to share with you very soon one of the main tips that I have. And this is the first step really to managing your time. When you're strategic with your time and you can actually visualize it in front of you, this is how things get much easier. And the way to do this is to have a timetable. When you schedule your time, when you schedule your classes, your breaks, and even other commitments that might not be necessarily related to work or university, you're able to visualize it, and then it's just so much easier to figure out when you have some free time to dedicate to the things you like, when you have some free time to actually work on that assignment. And let me tell you something, when you open your module handbooks, you'll be able to see when your deadlines are, and you see that there might be some deadlines that are maybe 2 months from now. When you put that on a timetable, you see that actually that's not much time, because very quickly your schedule will be busy with other things that you have in your life. It could be many things that are not necessarily related to uni. It can be just seeing your friends, catching up with your family, just doing meal prepping, doing the laundry, and so on. So there are so many other commitments that you have throughout your academic life. and your semester, let's say, that will take up so much time and you won't even realize it. So that's why I say you don't have to necessarily schedule every single minute of your time, but as long as you have the basics down, this makes things easier for you. Okay, so this is my top tip. This is my actual timetable, and this is how I organize my days. So at the end of the day, I usually just open it again, have a look at the next day and see what I have to do, and then I know what to expect for the day after, the 2 days after, the weeks after. Actually, I have this timetable. I think I have it all written down until the end of October. So there's a lot going on, and I know what my days are going to be looking like in 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks time. Of course, you don't have to go all the way to the next month and so on, but just having a level of organization really helps. And this is one of the things that I say, 1 hour that you lose today is 1 hour lost forever. Of course, it's okay to procrastinate sometimes, but just make sure that you're careful when you have your deadlines and assessments. Cool. So the next step is to create a routine. Why is that? It's because when we're working from home, we don't have the physical boundaries of the university, the work environment, and it can be very confusing doing everything in the same place. So if you live in a very small studio like I do, you do everything in the same place. So it can get a bit confusing, a bit messy, especially because if you're doing your degree or working from home 100% of the time, that means you're home for at least 20 something hours of your day. So what can you do to actually make sure that you're sticking to your routine? You create one, even if it's artificial. I'm going to show you a very quick video. It's a funny video, actually. That was some Londoners recreating the tube ride in the morning. I'll stop sharing my screen. And of course, you don't have to do this yourself, but this is just a funny way to show that there are many ways for you to actually get into a new routine when you're working from home. So let me share my screen with you for a second. Can you all see my screen again? Yes? Cool, brilliant.
Showers in times of quarantine are only good for one thing: recreating subway commutes. These 3 roommates from South London who have been stuck at home working together decided to change things up at home and recreate one of their most familiar pastimes, riding the tube. The funny video shows the 3 young men all cramped into the shower cubicle in their bathroom, just like being cramped into the tube at busy commuter times. One of the housemates standing outside the shot kept flicking the bathroom light switch off and on to replicate the tube traveling through the tunnel. And to really nail it, the housemates included the audio of London's Jubilee line.
This train terminates at
At one point, the 3 roommates managed to squeeze in the tiny shower cubicle and close the sliding door with a suitcase, while one has the audacity to pull out The Economist from his briefcase for his morning read. You gotta give it to them. We've all been told how important it is to keep a routine during the quarantine, and that's exactly what they did.
So this is just one example. Obviously, you don't have to do that. And I imagine that those of you who are going to be working from home don't miss the tube rides at all. But obviously, just making sure that you stick to a routine to some level can be very healthy and helpful as well. So let's go back to the PowerPoint. I have another step, which is your work environment. So if you're working from home, there are a few things you want to look after. And the first one is to make sure that your desk is clean, that your workspace is quiet, that you don't have too many distractions around you, and use natural light as much as possible. If you have a big window, make sure you make the most out of it. Natural light really helps you focus, and it can be very inspiring and make your workspace more inspirational and motivational as well. So I'm going to very quickly show you my workspace. So this is what it looks like normally when it's not very messy. So I have my plants, my coffee. This is what gets me through the day. I try and, as I mentioned, use a lot of natural light. And one of the things that I think one of you mentioned earlier in the chat, that you can get distracted. So that's one of the things that I really, really recommend that you do. Make sure you put your phone on airplane mode. If you're not expecting any very important calls or anything that's job related, work related, it shouldn't be an issue to put your phone on airplane mode. But here's the deal. Don't put it on airplane mode and keep the Wi-Fi on, because you know you'll be getting that notification on Instagram, and you know for a fact that you're gonna click on it, okay? Because if you do this, that there's no point in having your phone on airplane mode, okay? So the idea really is just to avoid distractions as much as you can. And of course, we cannot control the external environment. You cannot control when your neighbors are going to start being noisy or when you're going to hear a noise from the street. But again, just make sure that you find a place that is actually as silent as possible, at least when you're trying to work. And a few more things to consider. So that's why I just mentioned the noise levels, the internet connection. So if you don't have a good connection in your room, you might want to go to a different part of your home and just find a spot where you can actually get a good connection, where it's not dropping all the time. Cleanliness and organization as well, that's very important. You don't want to be working in a very, very messy environment. And also, if you don't feel like you have a suitable space to work at home, we also have the library on campus that you can use. Especially in the upper levels, you can find some very quiet spaces to study and work. So it shouldn't be an issue. You can also book rooms at the university. So even if you don't feel like the library is suitable for you, that's also an option. But again, if you're not even in the UK, you don't have access to the library, again, I think those tips can be very, very helpful if you're doing it from home anyways. So the next step, it's about organization and focus. One of the few things that I try and work by is setting realistic goals for the day. And the keyword here is realistic, because if you have a deadline in 2 weeks' time, you don't want to set a goal which is to finish the whole assignment in one day. That might not be realistic, and that's going to give you, if you don't achieve that goal, it's going to leave you with the sense that you haven't really accomplished what you wanted. So what I would say is, it's 100% okay to have big goals. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. But just make sure you try and break them down into smaller chunks, and then you can start accomplishing parts of it according to your progress at university. Some of you mentioned the lists, to-do lists, checklists. Try and visualize what you have accomplished throughout the day. Go as the day goes by, just make sure you check what you've done, and that gives you a sense of accomplishment. Make sure you also take breaks. That's very, very important. We don't want you guys to be working 24/7. That's not the point. And you won't even be effective if that's what you're trying to do. So just make sure you take some time for yourself. And we'll talk a little bit about that in a few minutes as well. And for inspiration, go for a walk, go do something that you like. Some of you, I know that you like going on Pinterest, having a look at bullet journals and all that kind of stuff. Maybe TED Talks. I think TED Talks can be very inspirational. I tend to watch them a lot, and they really help, spark some creativity during my free time. I have some tips as well in terms of apps. We have some apps here that some of you may know. We have Trello to help you get organized. There's Focus Keeper. We have timers that can help you set, let's say, time slots, because they time you, let's say 25 minutes, and then there's going to be a little ring that's going to help you come back from that moment of focus that you were having. Or maybe if that was your break, then you know that that's time to get back to work. And there's also Fika, which doesn't really time you, but it helps you focus, because you have exercises on there that help you feel more in tune with yourself, with your emotions, and deal with anxiety and all other feelings that can be distracting you from your work or studies. Now, I've been talking a lot, so I want to hear from you again. So what are the things that you are going to do to ensure that you have a healthy environment at home? Please type on the chat. I'll give you guys 1 minute to give us very, very good answers. So tell us, what can you do to make sure you have a very good, healthy environment at home? To do as Gabriel suggests. Thank you, guys. That's really nice of you. But obviously, I want to hear what you have. Do you have any ideas that I haven't had yet? How can you add to this presentation? Television off. Make sure that you sleep on time. Yes. And let me tell you, I'm not the best at it yet. I'm still working on it. I know I still have to go to bed a bit earlier than usual. But guys, yeah, that's 100% true. Sleep is very, very important, especially at university. Otherwise, you won't be able to focus. You feel tired all the time. And that's that's going to limit the level of focus that you can actually input in your tasks. So Yazin is saying, clean my workspace and limit my breaks. Yeah, that's fair enough. Set timer to take time off 100%, 100%. Tatiana, I have issues to sleep as well. Yeah, we're gonna have to work on that as a group, I guess. Organize my space, set a timetable, set a simple week and monthly schedule. Yeah, 100%, guys. And Natalie says, finding out comfy zone in the house to work. Yeah, guys, that's it. So do you want to take my job and do the presentation instead, because you know already exactly what you should be doing? That's 100% right. So I have a few more steps, and the next one is staying connected. Why is that? Because when you work from home, especially if that's something you're doing exclusively from home, it can feel a bit lonely and isolating. So one of the tips that I give to you guys is plan virtual study sessions. One of the examples that I have is that when I had a big group coursework just a few months ago during term time in my master's, we had to do a very big group report, and we set up a completely new WhatsApp chat just for the people who were interested in joining group sessions to just go over the assessment and try and figure out how we were going to approach it. We weren't even part of the same group, but we wanted to study together. And that actually helped us a lot, because at the end of the day, we would end up having the same questions. And it just made things so much easier, because when we were talking about the assessment, we figured out, oh, actually, they're having the same doubt as I am. So hold on, we know how to approach this. We will find a way to do not everything the same, because otherwise that would have been plagiarism. But we'll try and help each other achieve what we have to achieve for this assessment. So I definitely recommend that you do that. And we understand that obviously when you're working from home, you don't get to have that moment when you're walking from a building to the other, going for a coffee, and then just chatting to your classmates and saying, oh yeah, about the assessment, how you're doing this. It's different. So it's likely that you're going to have to create that moment by creating your virtual study sessions as well. That is also valid when it comes to your lecturers. They will be in touch with you, okay? They will be regularly in touch with you via email. You will have the seminars. If they're online, it doesn't matter. You will still be seeing them and being in touch with them. So that's what really matters. But one of the things that I really want to mention that is very, very important, check your university email regularly. That's just crucial, because all the communication that you receive from university, from your classmates, from your lecturers, it's going to come through your university email. So it's very important that you set it up. And I know I heard in the previous session that some of you were trying to set it up. So well done. That's exactly what you should be doing. Just make sure it's up and running. And that's my top tip. Just make sure you check it regularly. There is a setting where you can actually redirect your uni email to your personal one, but I 100% recommend that you still check the uni one, okay? Checking in with your classmates, that's something that's been sort of covered. Just make sure that you keep in touch with them so you don't feel lonely, so that you know what's going on within your course. And also one thing to mention is that, of course, we've always had some of the resources online, but you can actually still access them even if you're going to campus, or if you're not in the UK, if you're studying 100% online, you can still access them online, okay? So we have the LET team, we have the SLAs, they're still working at least part-time online. Last year we were working 100% online. I was one of the SLAs, so I know this for sure. But so many services from the university are still operating online, and you can still access them. And one of the examples is that I had a session with the employability team on Wednesday, and that was via Zoom. So even though if you're still going to campus, you want to have an online session, that's 100% fine, okay? Just make sure that if you need support with anything, go and get it, okay? If you don't know how to get it, you can ask us, we'll be happy to help, all right? So we're moving to the 6th step, which is well-being. Now, we've been talking about time management, about being very strict with everything, but it's not just about that, because you need to make sure that you're looking after your mind and your body so that you can actually achieve what you want to achieve. Because if you're not in the right mindset, I would assume that having enough time to do your tasks is not going to be enough. Okay, so it's not just about time. So what I would say is just make sure that you're looking after yourself. There are many ways to do this. There are many things that work for different people. As some of you mentioned, the good sleeping schedule is key. And that's one of the things that I covered. So you actually gave my point before I gave it to you. But just make sure that you're exercising, that if you feel like meditation is something that can help you, we have resources that can help you with that as well. There are many apps available for you to download. And I will go over some of them. One app that I really like is Headspace. I heard that there's actually a deal with Spotify for students. They can actually get a combo, so 2-in-1, and that's very cheap. I think it's less than £10 a month. But I cannot stress enough how important Fika is, because this one's for free, guys. It's not originally free, but because you are students at Middlesex, we have a partnership with them and you get it for free. So I definitely recommend that you download it. We also have other options that you can look into. It depends on what works for you, but for me, what really works is exercising, and just making sure that I have a healthy diet, staying hydrated. And my last tip, the last of them all, is there's a podcast by one guy called Jocko Willink, and he usually says that discipline equals freedom. And I 100% agree with that. I'm not saying that I agree with everything that he says, but I agree with that specific statement because it is true, and I can prove it through experience. One example is, if you're organized enough and by the end of the term, you've done all of the assessments, you've done all of the exams, you've passed all of them, then that means that by the end of the term, you're free to go. Do whatever you want. You're free to go take a placement or maybe go on holidays. And that means you won't have to do a receipt. So if you're organized, if you make sure that you keep on top of everything that you need to do, it's much more likely that you find freedom in your life way earlier, as if you, in the case that you don't, okay? So we're moving to the question side because we don't have much time right now, but I want to hear questions from you. I would say you can ask any questions on the chat. I will try and address the ones that are more related to the presentation, but if I know the answer to the technical questions, let's say, I'll be happy to answer them as well. And if you want to ask anything about uni life, student experience, feel free to do so. I'm happy to help.